All right, today we're diving into something that is truly at the crossroads of, well, everything. We're talking about a collision between ancient religious tradition and the most cutting-edge artificial intelligence. And it's a collision that really challenges the very idea of what religious authority even is. So let's just get right to it. Here's the central question. Can a machine, an algorithm built on ones and zeros, issue a fatwa? Can it perform one of the most sacred, deeply human acts in all of Islamic law? Now, before you dismiss this as some kind of sci-fi plot, you really need to understand what's already going on.
Yep, you heard that right. This isn't some hypothetical debate about the future. It is happening right now, in our present. There are specialized tools like Fika Engine being built specifically to automate Islamic legal reasoning. And look, millions of us are already asking general AIs like ChatGPT for all sorts of religious advice. The tech is here, and it is moving at a breathtaking speed.
So before we get into all the risks and the ethical minefields, it's really important to understand the why. What's the powerful argument for using this technology? Because let's be honest, AI promises to solve a very real and very human problem.
Think about this number for a second, 1.8 billion. That's how many Muslims there are in the world. And by just about any metric, there is a catastrophic shortage of qualified scholars available to guide them. For so many people, especially in the West or in more rural communities, getting access to a trained scholar is next to impossible. And this is the massive gap that AI is promising to fill.
I mean, the potential here is it's undeniable. We are talking about a tool that could give anyone, anywhere, instantaneous access to information. It can analyze centuries of scholarship in seconds. It can break down language barriers between Arabic, Persian, Urdu, you name it. In theory, it's like the ultimate democratization of sacred knowledge, a way to preserve and share our heritage on a scale we've never seen before.
But, and this is a huge but, information isn't the same thing as wisdom. And that brings us to the other side of this whole debate, the soul of the issue really. What does a human scholar have that a machine, no matter how powerful it gets, fundamentally lacks? In Islamic thought, this concept of aql is, well, it's everything. It's not just about raw intelligence or processing power. It's the moral intellect. It's our capacity for reason, for understanding, for discerning right from wrong. In Islam, humans are held accountable by God precisely because we have aql. A fatwa isn't just spitting out data. It's a profound exercise of this moral responsibility.
And this just lays out the difference so clearly. On one side, you have a human scholar. They possess aql and also taqwa, a deep consciousness of God that guides their judgment. They understand human context, empathy, the situation on the ground, and critically, they are morally accountable for their rulings. An AI? It's a pattern-matching machine, period. It has no spiritual dimension, zero empathy, and absolutely no accountability. It calculates, but it doesn't comprehend.
This is probably the most crucial point of all. A fatwa is not a sterile transaction. It's an act of pastoral care. The person who is asking is often looking for more than just a legal answer. They're seeking spiritual guidance. Can an AI really sense the fear in a question about being in debt? Or the heartbreak behind a question about divorce? Of course not. That takes a human heart. It requires a connection that's part of a sacred trust between people.
And when you remove that human heart, that accountability, from the equation, well, you run headfirst into what many scholars see as the single greatest danger in all of this: the rise of authority without accountability.
And here's where it gets tangible, and frankly, a little terrifying. AIs are known to do this thing called hallucinating. You see, they're designed to predict the next most likely word in a sentence, not necessarily to tell the truth. So they can, with complete confidence, just make things up. In the context of Islamic law, this could mean inventing a hadith, a saying of the Prophet Muhammad that never existed, or attributing a legal opinion to a famous classical scholar who never, ever held that view. This isn't just a simple error. It's the potential for creating a false religion. And here's the terrifying reality of technology and scale. A mistake made by a local scholar, as bad as that can be, might affect their local community. But an error generated by a global AI platform, that falsehood can be shot out to millions of people, instantly, democratizing misinformation on a scale we can barely even imagine.
So does that mean the only answer is to just reject this technology completely? Well, not necessarily. The consensus that seems to be emerging is to find a middle path, a way to harness the incredible power of AI without surrendering our moral judgment to it. And this middle path sees AI as a powerful servant, but never the master. It can be a phenomenal research assistant, saving scholars countless hours. It can act as a first-line triage system for very basic consensus-based questions. It's an amazing educational tool for students. But that final step, the actual act of issuing a ruling, of taking on that moral weight before God, that must always remain with a qualified, living, breathing human scholar.
Now, the good news is that people are already working on this. Institutional oversight is beginning to take shape. Big organizations like the Islamic Development Bank are already developing ethical frameworks to try and get ahead of this. The goal is really clear. We have to embed our timeless values into this new technology, making sure that it serves us, and not the other way around.
So I think this leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? We've built these incredible, impressive pattern-matching machines, but they are not moral agents. Islamic tradition is built on a chain of knowledge transmitted from one human heart to another, rooted in revelation. That's a sacred chain that, for now, an algorithm simply cannot enter. What happens next? Well, that's a conversation we all need to be a part of.